welcome to the Luz and Dolly Show. I'm Luz.
And I am Dolly, and we are continuing the conversation with Robert Perkins and Dr. Jeannie Perkins, and we're just so excited because of all this information that he is sharing with us. Robert,
yes,
you're an amazing young man, and I am so proud to have you here. One of the things that we have briefly touched on is the normal, that word normal, or what's wrong with this person, you know, that type of thing.
Different.
What's different? You're right. Well, what's wrong versus different, and the sense of acceptance for society. Can you elaborate a little bit how you feel?
Well, when someone calls me disabled, for starters, in the dictionary, disabled is defined as someone who has trouble excelling or achieving certain things. So technically we're all disabled. That used to bother me a lot, but over the years it just doesn't faze me. It's just words. Mm-hmm. Second, when people say, well, you're not going to be able to do A, B, or C, for me, that just empowers me to prove them wrong.
I love it.
So if you don't want me to achieve something, don't encourage me to say
don't say you can't, right?
Exactly.
Because it makes you want to prove them wrong.
It does. It really does.
Can you share with them what one of those things is? I know there's many, but share a few.
I'll give you two examples. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was learning public transportation, mm-hmm. Like my mom said earlier, that my doctor didn't think I could do it. I mean, I started off in Joliet, and once he suggested going to Chicago and doing it, I guess my mom he looked at her like she had grown 6 heads. But I mean, for me, honestly, I can't remember street names to save my life. There's too many for them. What I do use is I use my photographic memory. That's how I navigate.
Perfect.
You know, like if I'm going to school, I mean, I remember, okay, I get off the pink line here because the bank is right there. Something that I can familiarize myself with.
So let them know.
So like monuments, you need that.
Yeah. They said that you couldn't, or they laughed at her when she questioned, and let them know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I take public transportation all the time. I mean, I use it to navigate to most of my doctor visits. But not only do I learn how to navigate, I also learn at least 2 extra routes. So if I get turned around or if I get lost, I know where I'm at. And I also know how to navigate.
Well, Robert, I have to tell you this. I have lived in Chicago pretty much all my life. And I don't know anything about the pink line, the blue line, the brown line. I tell you, I don't take trains for anything. I get nervous. I can't do that. So I commend you for that.
Well, that's the first one. So what was the second one?
The second one was when I was victim. I mean, a lot of people thought it was game over. That's it. He's done.
He's 29. This happened 10 years ago.
But for me, I mean, yes, it was a very, very dark time, very hard. I mean, I shut down for like 2 years, if that. And literally those 2 years, I slept, I ate, I smoked. That's all I did. I didn't even leave the house. I don't even think I went into on the front patio because I was so scared of being, hurt.
But Robert, if I may interrupt you, because of that trauma that you endured, it was then that you were diagnosed with PTSD, correct?
I was diagnosed with PTSD because of the trauma I'd suffered.
Which is post-traumatic stress disorder, for those of you that do not know what PTSD is.
But for me, I mean, there are 3 things on my mind, throughout the whole shutdown phase when I shut down. A, I need to recover. B, I want to make things, I want to get justice. And C, I want to prevent this from happening to others.
That's powerful. Did you hear that? That's just...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For me, what happened was very terrible. But a lot of good came from it. But at the same time, it was a very high price to pay, and I was happy to pay that price because of all the good that came from it.
And look at where you're at
others.
now.
Now, I know you mentioned that it was other patients, I guess, that were unfortunately the attackers.
The attacker was a patient, and there was a patient that assaulted another patient on the safety floor, if you put it that way. I broke it up after screaming for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I ended up getting physically intervening with this patient and another patient. They put me down in the, danger unit or whatever. And from there, I was taken off all my meds, was heavily sedated out of the Ativan and the Ambien, and was sexually assaulted twice.
Wow.
So,
That's just
I know,
heartbreaking.
that's horrible.
When
Very,
when
very
you were
sorry.
when the medication was taken off, or when you were taken off the medication, was Mom informed? Mom, or was it before? Or
Well,
after?
we actually, when he was attacked the first time, he called us and he told me that he wasn't taking his medicine. And we had been up there earlier, and I went to ask the nurse, and I said, he's telling me that he's not had his medicine today. And she says, oh yeah, he's had his medicine. Well, when he called at 10:30 at night to tell me, and I still haven't got my medicine, I called the nurse's floor and I said, well, why don't we just review what he's had for the day? And it was then that I found out that they hadn't been giving him his psychotropic meds, and I'm
And
like,
you're not supposed to just take people off. You have to
Right,
wean
well, he
them
was-
on,
right.
wean them off.
right, because it's a central nervous system drug, and he was on 3 of them. So the plan on Friday was to increase one of them and then send him home on Monday. And somewhere they had taken him off all his meds. So I decided to go up there that morning, and I got up there, and
thank you,
they
Penny.
and I told him that we needed to take him over to another hospital for medical treatment, where Robert's legal guardians, so I could do that. And I was hoping, I was driving up there actually, and I was like 10 minutes from the hospital when Robert told me. And all I kept thinking was, okay, he hasn't had his medicine. It's probable hallucination. It's probably not true, you know. And then when I got there, I got him. He came into the room, and Robert and I were very close. He came into the room and just put his head down and started rocking. And I knew something very bad had happened. And then when we went over to the hospital, they told me that he had been raped. The problem was that the police officer who was doing the reporting, he says, well, if it's any consolation, they got him over here this time. And apparently this had happened before at this hospital.
Didn't they have like a protocol on how they bleach the room or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. So,
I'm so sorry you
So
went
it
through
was-
that. You all went through that.
yeah.
I'm
You
so
know,
sorry.
it was very difficult, but like I said, I'm glad it came out of it. And yes, it was a high price to pay. But the fact that they changed
hard.
the hospital, that they redid protocol and everything, you know, the price I paid was somewhat worth it.
That's so
Wow.
valiant of you to be able to share that story, not only share it and be so strong and poised and an advocate for yourself and others, but that you're looking for the well-being and the future of other individuals, and that's
Well, tell him how you, when we found out that this had happened before, there were people who were at that psychiatric hospital where it did happen, and because it wasn't validated by
The authorities.
another source, they committed suicide. There were a lot of people who had
There
committed
was-
Oh my God.
suicide because they had this happen, and people are like, oh, it didn't happen, didn't
There
it?
was at least, from what I found on
And it
multiple
was-
internet searches, that 4 people had similar results, and all 4 of them eventually did take their life. I was able to track down 2 of the 4 people that did commit suicide and pay respects.
I'm so
I
sorry.
also at each grave, I looked down and said, I promise I will do everything I can to make sure that this doesn't happen to me,
Yeah.
you, or anyone else again.
You're amazing.
he's
Yep.
not only amazing, but the
It's-
fact they have no idea that we're all gonna be in tears. The fact
I
that
know,
you
I know.
Sorry.
have no, don't apologize. The fact that you stood up for your son, as every mother
Mother
and father
should.
does, but then some, because of what they called he had disability. The fact that he's his own advocate and now he's helping others. Please share with them what you're going to school for and what you're planning on doing.
I'm going to National Louis University in Chicago, right across from the Art Institute. My major is child psychology.
Oh, thank you.
My minor is criminal justice. My goal is to help kids with special needs or in not very good situations, not only to overcome their challenges, but to educate the people around them to help rid these stereotypes of mental illness. So for me, my goal in
Wow.
life is not only to help kids, but to educate as many people as I can, even if it's just removing stigma from a few people in the world. For
Well,
me, that would be my goal.
Robert, I tell you,
You're
I am so
accomplishing it.
grateful that you allow Luz and I, Dr. Jeannie as well, that you allow us to be able to share this message with our audience because we have a few people that do follow us, and because of it, thank God, we will be able to get that message out.
I read
Robert,
this quote.
I'm
one
sorry.
time.
Go
I
ahead.
read this quote somewhere. It says, I forget where I wrote, but it was fear is a disease, hope is its cure. By
it again.
Fear is a disease, and hope is its cure. By giving
wow.
hope to others, you can. I think by giving hope to others and telling my story will not only help others, encourage others, but also to help people not be so judgmental of people with mental illness.
Wow. I know, right? Yeah, that deserves an applause. You're amazing. Robert, I just have one quick question for you because this has been obviously a very difficult topic.
Yeah.
And I'm changing the subject intentionally. How tall are you, my friend?
I am 6'7" and I have a size 16.5 gym shoes.
Wow. So do you play basketball?
I used to for fun. I was never really on any sports teams because our residential didn't really have like sports teams.
Okay.
But I did enjoy playing basketball. I also enjoyed playing tennis a lot as well. So
Yeah. That's good. That's
you.
good. I just wanted to see if he was doing other things other than learning, educating,
what
and
size
for
being
me,
amazing.
16.5 size shoe.
16.5. Are they custom made?
No.
No.
But
Wow.
it's a take it or leave it kind of. You find the
Absolutely.
shoes and it's like this is either take it or leave it.
That's
So,
amazing.
There are a lot of choices.
That's amazing.
Well,
And
thank
yeah, no, this is powerful.
Very,
Thank you.
very grateful to have you both here and for sharing and for, wow.
Thank you
Wow.
for your
Wow.
your genuineness and your kindness and your love for each other and the love
Thank
for
you
the
for
people.
Having us. Thank you
Yes.
for
For the
having
people.
us.
Yep.
For the
Thank
people.
you.
Thank
This
you.
is awesome.
Thank you. Stay
Yeah.
tuned.